Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, Jeff Durrell. When the office of the 9th president of Fort Hays State University, Dr. Mirta Martin, as we talk about a new year, a new president, new traditions, and new beginnings. Talk about that, Dr. Martin.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm thrilled again to see you and to see our producer. It's this kind of a homecoming again, so thank you for coming back. I guess I didn't scare you the last time.
Well, we were invited back. I felt really good about that.
But thank you. You know, the convocation, I wanted to be such that it really highlight who we are. And the new traditions need to be centered, in my opinion, about and around our people. So while normally a convocation is a state of the university address, our people are very well informed, you know, and to say, well, we did this and this and this, and we have tremendous accolades that have been achieved throughout the year, but we have a tremendous and incredible public relations department that communicates with our university. So I thought, what do we really need to highlight? What really makes us unique? Why did I come here? And it all came back to family. It all came back to the people. So we created our incredible department, created this small video about the people of Fort Hays State University. And that's how we started actually the convocation. There is a quote that by Kouzes and Posner that has guided much of what I live about, and it says something to the effect of amidst the times, there have been those who stand firm against the winds of resistance and have the strength to see into the future and the courage to change that future, and we call these people leaders. And so I said, and let me introduce you to some of the leaders of Fort Hays State University. And it was wonderfully done because it showcased people, and there was a little bit of speaking part and then just pictures. And you know, for me, that's who we are. We're a family. And so we started the convocation with that mindset. The fact that we are a family at Fort Hays State University. We are the family of Fort Hays State University. And then I talked about several of the issues that were going to confront us this coming year. As it turned out, that morning we were welcoming the first class of freshmen, actually the largest class of freshmen in the history of Fort Hays. So I said to those convened, you know, we are here to educate them. We are here to nurture them because they are going to have challenges that none of us had. And they're going into a world that's quite different from the world in which we grew up. As you stated earlier, you know, the figures are incredible. As the need for a college degree in Kansas, 71% of the jobs will require a college degree. I think the most startling statistic, especially for higher ed, I think it was in the New York Times, but I'm not 100% sure. But the statistics is that I think 75% of the students entering kindergarten this year will graduate into jobs that do not yet exist.
75%.
It's a startling statistic. So I ask you then, how am I as a faculty member going to prepare to teach the leaders of the future when I do not yet know what jobs they're going to be into? And I think that's what makes Fort Hays State University unique. You know, we are truly forward-thinking and we're ready. We expand. There's no box at Fort Hays State University. Our faculty are constantly innovating. Our faculty have, and our staff have that old pioneer work ethic that they help each other because it's the right thing to do. It's not part of their job, so who cares? You know, I tell this story about the gentlemen who have adopted me, who are working over at the house, who, you know, I now call them my big brothers. I have 7, 10, 15 big brothers at any one day, and when my furniture arrived and they were crated, and the transport company said, well, sorry, we can't uncrate the furniture. We will put it into the house, but we can't uncrate it. And I just said, well, I'll just guess I'll have to leave it in the garage, and when John comes, then he'll uncrate it and we'll move it up. And these gentlemen heard it, and they were going to lunch, and they dropped what they were doing and they helped. You know, it wasn't because I was the president. It was because that's what they do, and I'm so thankful to them because they really have become my big brothers, and I'm thankful that I have that relationship. But that's what makes us different, is that sense of family. So I talked about that sense of family. I talked about the need to be innovative. I talked about the fact that, you know, we are still the university where the American dream is achievable. We are still the university where the American dream is possible. We are still the university where the American dream is the place where people shall come to, and that's why they come to Fort Hays State University. I talked about the fact that, you know, there are cynics out there, you could say, that believe that the American dream is dying. And very honestly, they may even be drafting its obituary. And you can see, I mean, you've got the plight of the middle class, you have the rising cost of education, you have textbooks that are out of the reach of students. Whether here or throughout the nation, we find that about 50%, 60% of students are not able to purchase textbooks. Some of them try to go to class and get the work through osmosis, and they do remarkably well, given that they don't have a textbook. But if you cannot do homework, if you can, you know, you can go to the library and read, but still, you know, many of these textbooks, as you know, now have a CD-ROM, and that's where the homework is. So if you don't have the CD-ROM, how do you get the homework? So it's something that I'm very, very sensitive to. And so I said to them, you know, that we have challenges, but I am a very strong visual representation that the American dream is alive and well.
Well, you are a living proof of the American dream, Dr. Martin.
Well, I am, and it's Mirta. And I am, and as I say to the students, if a little girl that came to this wonderful, great country didn't speak a word of English, and on her hands and knees, together with her grandmother, was cleaning houses, can make it to be a president of a lead institution, a world-ready, a forward-thinking, world-ready institution that is filled with incredible people, an institution like Fort Hays State University, then anybody in this world, everybody in this country has the ability to be part of that American dream. And I am committed to making that a reality for those who chose to come to Fort Hays, for those who choose to, through education, create a pathway for themselves. And yes, it's not going to come easy. My grandmother used to say, you may have to work for it harder. It may take you longer. But if you set your heart and your mind, there's nothing that cannot be achieved. And if you think about it, that's the American dream.
I like a couple of things that you mentioned during the convocation that reflects your theme of new beginnings, and also the American dream, if you will. That's the new faculty, I think 24 new faculty members. The wind turbines, for example, you know, instead of being stuck putting up fancy buildings and things, or statues and things, you put up wind turbines.
Mm-hmm. We did, and of course I have to credit the vision of our former president, Dr. Hammond, who saw the need to be practical. Higher education is changing, and we have to change with it. And change is associated these days as being something bad. And and I say to people, okay, so forget about the word change. Do you like innovation? So I ask you the question, do you like innovation? Mm-hmm. Certainly, innovation is good. Well, if you like to innovate and you like innovation, then you like change. Mm-hmm. Because innovation means doing something a little bit different because it's world class, because it comes through the unity of two minds. When I talk about diversity, for me, diversity is not gender and ethnicity, it's diversity of thought. Your thoughts and my thoughts put together create a much stronger vision, a much stronger thought than just mine. And that's why I seek to listen to people. That's why I'm a very collaborative leader. I like people to tell me what I don't know and what I don't want to hear, because it is only then that I can enact change, that I can enact new beginning, that I can inspire others to innovate. And so these new faculty afford us the opportunity to shape the new minds that we greeted that day. And as we continue to grow, it is important for us to keep our eye on the prize. And the prize is we have an incredible opportunity, second to none in our business, to shape the minds of our leaders. Because in these students that we teach today, in whom we inculcate knowledge, could be the next ambassador, could be the next president of the United States, could be the next world leader. What a tremendous opportunity that faculty and staff have to be able to add that little grain of salt to what will perhaps one day become a mighty mountain.
Got a couple of stories I want you to share in our last couple of minutes, if you would. First of all, what's this?
This was a gift by Eric Deneau. He is part of the Institute of Applied Technologies here at Fort Hays University, and he designed an instrument, if you would, that writes on a blackboard, and these are messages that can be shifted.
This is a blackboard.
And this is, yes, it's a blackboard.
Little
chalk tray back there with exactly right. But while our very talented art faculty could do this freehand, this is actually done by an instrument that Eric designed. And with some of his faculty members. So I was actually thinking as I walked in this morning, and you beat me to the punch, but I was going to call him and say, the welcome is great and I appreciate it, but now today is our very first day of our very first home football game. I'm very excited because these students, these scholar athletes are second to none, and after the leadership of Chris Brown, the coach, and the other coaches, they're going to be wonderful, and they're great young men. But I think it's about time that I change this to say, go Tigers.
I hate to see it go, but I suppose you're right, unless they could do another one that could overlay that. But real quick, we have about a minute. Could you tell us the story, since when we're recording this, it is the first home football game, the opening of the season, if you will. But the interesting thing that happened with the team and your challenge of the ice bucket challenge, if you could, in a minute or so.
I thought it was great. I was challenged to the LS bucket, and of course challenging. I thought it was a great opportunity. So Chris Brown and the football coach, along with the 105 football players, accepted the challenge. And what's really neat is you talk about teamwork, you talk about respect, you talk about those values that cannot be inculcated anywhere other than through a team sport. And Coach Brown, they were practicing. He flipped and he said, practice is over. And he said, okay, guys, go pick up your buckets. And I need those buckets to be filled. And I need it in 5 minutes. He blew his whistle. These boys went like this. They lined up behind me. I said my little speech. Of course, I had one of these microphones. We didn't want to get it wet. The camera stopped. The coach said, blew his whistle, said, now line up across the line, and they went lined up, all 105 of them, and then they had the chant, and then the bucket challenge started. They drenched me, and it was cold.
Oh.
Let me let you know, there was ice in that bucket. Okay, there was real ice in that bucket. It had melted. There was ice. They lined up, and then in a domino effect, and it was so neat to see these young men who are 3 times my size, cringing with the cold water and just having so much fun. And to me, I was thrilled, because that's why I get up every day. It's because of these students. And as I tell the faculty, as I tell the staff, I tell everybody, we are a forward-thinking, world-ready university. We're superbly positioned to be the destination of choice because of our programs of distinction and our people of excellence. And these students come here because of these programs of distinction and these people of excellence.
And I know your passion is going to be infectious. Dr.
Thank
Mirta
you.
Martin, 9th President of Fort Hays State University, from the President's Office, our Community Connection. Thanks for watching.